Our next participant for today is Mutahira Sultana from Quality School Foundation. A huge round of applause.
Honorable Chief Guest, respected teachers, and my dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic on which I am delivering the speech is Quaid Azam as a father of the nation. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a man of great wisdom, strong ideals, an enemy of injustice, who fought so that his community could exercise its due rights. Dear Honor, Jinnah's achievement as the founder of Pakistan dominates everything else he did in his long and crowded public lifespanning. Yet, by any standard, his life was an eventful life, his personality multi-dimensional, and his achievements in other fields were many. This great leader was born on December 25, 1876, in a prominent mercantile family in Karachi. He was educated at Sindh Madrasatul Islam and Christian Mission School. Muhammad Ali Jinnah joined Lahore Resolution 1940 till its achievement in 1947 is well told and well written by historians. And it is a fact that Jinnah was an essential part of that process. He aptly said in a speech in Bombay in 1947, "I am fighting for Pakistan because it is the only practical solution for solving problems." He clarified his motive in his speech by saying, "There is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan." Thus, Mr. Jinnah was something more than Quaid Azam, and he was more than the architect of Islamic nation. Respected audience and my dear honor, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a combination of rare qualities. He had the charisma of Churchill, dignity of de Gaulle, greatness of Gandhiji, magnetism of Mandela, and objectivity of Obama. Pakistan, one of the largest Muslim states in the world, is an exemplary monument of Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. With his untiring efforts and dauntless courage, he united the Muslims under the banner of Muslim League and carved out a homeland for them, despite having stiff opposition from Hindu leaders and the British government. He said, "By industrializing our state, we shall decrease our dependence. You should realize that real power and the strength of the country depends upon its capacity to produce." Jinnah worked to establish the newly independent country's government and policies, and to aid the millions of migrants that migrated from India to Pakistan. Jinnah died at the age of 71 on September 11, 1948. He said, and I quote, "I am a soldier of Pakistan, not its emperor." Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next participant is Mariam Shah from Roots Millennium, GNAN 3. A huge round of applause and good luck.
Back in the year 1876, on 25th of December, a man named Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born. I am talking about that man, because of whom today we all are sitting here. I am talking about that man, because of whom today we call ourselves proud Pakistanis. I am talking about that man who, with his willpower, determination, and faith in God gave us this separate homeland known as Pakistan. Yes, I am talking about no one else but the founder of this country, the founder of our country, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mariam Shah and I'm from Roots Millennium Schools. The journey of this man from Muhammad Ali Jinnah to Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was not an easy one. He didn't get the title Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah without any reason. He not only dreamed about a welfare separate Muslim homeland, but he also made this dream a reality. Dear fellows, let's imagine that what would have he felt if he was alive today. No doubt he would have been delighted to witness the celebrations of independence pulsating throughout the country and to hear the echoes of the slogan Pakistan Zindabad over the crashing waves on the shores of Karachi, through the mountain ranges of Khyber and across the agricultural fields of Punjab. It would have warmed the heart of Quaid Azam to see the Pakistani flag hoisted upon houses and fluttering across streets and even vehicles on roads decorated in green and white. And of course, the twinkle of joy in the eyes of children would have been a prized achievement for him. But the current situation of our country would have compelled him to ask those who have enjoyed powerful positions some pungent questions. And those questions would have been that: have you been able to guard the physical and the ideological boundaries of Pakistan? Have you followed the principles of the motto, unity, faith, and discipline? Have you been democratically, fairly, and freely elected? Has your judiciary remained impartial and independent? And have you honored the promise I made for equal citizenship just 3 days before the independence? Sadly, we all know that the answer to these questions is no. Quaid always led his people from the front, and he always said corruption is a curse. But is remnant in our current institutions, led by individuals sitting behind their glossy desks, having an audacity of hanging his portrait above their heads and shamelessly carrying their business. Dear fellows, we need to mend our ways, as plenty of damage has already been done. Quaid, from up there, has pinned all his hopes upon us. He is confident that we have the ability to deliver. And yes, on this day of the 141st anniversary of Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, I would like to say that we have the potential and talent to do so. Quaid said, and I quote, "With faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you, the youth, cannot achieve." Thank you for having me today.
On 12th April 1948, to students of Islamic College, Peshawar, Quaid Azam said, "Develop a sound sense of discipline, character, initiate, and a solid academic background. You must devote yourself wholeheartedly to your studies, for that is your first obligation to yourselves, your parents, and your state. You must learn to obey, for then you can learn to command." Our next participant is Hafsa Ijaz from Roots Millennium I-93. Please come on stage.
I hear ambulances, fire alarms, panic, distress, and chaos everywhere. Terrorism and bloodshed. In the news, on the streets, and even in our schools. Who has changed this land of harmony into a home of deceit and treachery? Who is responsible for all of this? Who is responsible for what is happening to my motherland, my homeland, Pakistan? Am I a Pakistani? Ladies and gentlemen, am I a Pakistani? Or is it just a passport that says so because I was born in Pakistan, a country obtained after the great struggle for independence by the leader of the nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah? He was a man with multidimensional personality and innumerable achievements. He was a man who was the father of the nation. He was a man who was a top-notch politician. He was above all the greatest leader this world has ever experienced. Honorable chief guests, requested judges, and my dear fellow students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Hafsa Ijaz, and I am here to represent the Roots Millennium Schools. Few individuals significantly alter the course of history. Fewer still modify the map of the world. Hardly anyone can be credited with creating a nation state. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, ladies and gentlemen, did all three. These words were not said by any ordinary person, by any of his followers, or even by a Pakistani, but these words were said by the famous scholar Stanley Wolpert. The topic, ladies and gentlemen, under discussion today is Quaid Azam. He was a man. He was a man with impeccable integrity. He was one of the most revered leaders this world has ever experienced. He was a man with strong moral character, and even his enemies, ladies and gentlemen, were bound to admit that he never lost his sense of self-respect anywhere, whether be it dealing with the members of the Indian National Congress or any matter. He was profound constitutionalist. He was a man with a great self-respect. Muhammad Ali Jinnah at another instance said, and I quote, "If we want to make this great state of Pakistan happy and prosperous, we have to wholly and solely concentrate on the wealth of the poor. We have to concentrate on the motto of the Quaid, unity, faith, and discipline, and work hard to admit it. Work hard to achieve the Pakistan he dreamed of." I thank you all for your patience hearing.
Thank you. Today's next participant is Moiz Akbar from St. Mary, Cambridge.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Moiz Akbar and I am from St. Mary's Cambridge School. निगाहें मर्द मोमिन से बदल जाती हैं तकदीरें, जो हो ज़ोके यकीन पैदा तो कट जाती हैं जंजीरें. Honorable Chief Guest, respectable audience and judges, and my dear fellow students, Assalamu alaikum. The topic I have been given today to express my views is Quaid as the father of our nation. Honorable Chief Guest, it is rightly high time to operate and examine the given topic and ask ourselves, do we really believe in this statement or is it just a cliche for us? And if this statement has any significance to us, then are we acting upon it in accordance to Quaid's advices and admonitions? Today, I'm not going to simply narrate the biography of Quaid Azam, as I believe that we should be all well familiar with it. Rather, I'm going to highlight Quaid's role as the father of our nation. Jinnah joined Muslim League in 1913 upon realizing that Muslims of the subcontinent were facing very desperate and hopeless situation under the rule of British and Hindus. He, with his dynamic effort, brought all the Muslims of the subcontinent to one platform and infused in them a spirit of independence and self-respect. Jinnah worked day and night and faced every hurdle and obstacle with courage. And within just 3 decades, he was able to bring upon the map of the world a new nation of Pakistan for the Muslim of the subcontinent, just like a father who not only procreates a family, but also looks after, protects, and feeds it. Jinnah brought forth a nation out of a huge crowd of Indians and said to protect it. हम लाए हैं तूफान से कश्ती निकाल के, इस मुल्क को रखना मेरे बच्चों संभाल के. After the inception of Pakistan, Jinnah as a father gave guidance and advices to this newly born nation over every matter of life, from business to education, from politics to religion. He let us in no darkness as to what our destiny should be. As a father, he guided and protected us. On one occasion, he said to the student, "You must concentrate on gaining knowledge. It is your foremost responsibility." As far as religion is concerned, he said at another occasion that every Pakistani is free to exercise his religion with freedom. But a very important question arises, that have we acted upon the advices of our father? The fact tells us that we have failed desperately. After the foundation of Pakistan, we lost half of the body and soul in the form of Bangladesh. Balochistan and Sindh are burning with provincialism. Politicians are filling their pockets by looting Pakistan. Unfortunately, our country is among the list of top few terrorist countries of the world. So, where is our obedience to the father of the nation? We should be ashamed to brought his Pakistan to the brink of destruction. So, Honorable Chief Guest, I would appeal to the whole nation that let us submit our lives to the admonition and visions of the father of the nation and pray, खुदा करे कि मेरे अर्ज़े पाक पर उतरे वो फसले गुल जिसे अंदेशाए ज़वाल ना हो. खुदा करे कि मेरे एक भी हम वतन के लिए हयात जुर्म ना हो, जिंदगी वबाल ना हो. Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Our today's next contestant is Shamaim Shahid from Roots Millennium I-93.
There are two powers in the world. One is the sword, and the other is the pen. There is a great competition and rivalry between the both. There is a third power stronger than the both, and that of the women. These are the wise words of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. These words emphasize the importance of a mighty pen and a strong, educated woman, which are the two basic necessities to build a strong society. Surely, if a man possesses these thoughts, he is more than capable of being titled Babai Qom, which translates into father of the nation. Respected chief guest, judges, and students. Well, it is an honorific title given to a man considered the driving force behind the establishment of his country, state, or nation. He is a man with profound ability to lead. He is, needless to say, a confident, committed man with an exemplary character. He is tolerant of ambiguity and remains calm, composed, and steadfast towards the main goal and purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, this is who Muhammad Ali Jinnah is. His ideology makes him the father of our nation. The drive for fight for the basic rights for his ordinary people, his impeccable decision-making, his impressive confidence to look evil in the eye, and most of all, his unforgettable commitment as a leader are what make him Babai Qom. Mr. Jinnah himself was great as a lawyer, once great as a congressman, great as a world politician, and great as a leader for Muslims. But greatest of all was as a man of action, and through those actions is one of the greatest role models for us as individuals and us as nation. It is this man we owe our responsibility to. It is this man, Jinnah, his words and his vision we owe our alliance to. Unfortunately, though, we have not been able to serve the country with the same commitment with which it had come into being. My dear Pakistanis, this is not the Pakistan he wanted for us. This is not the Pakistan he fought for. And it is time that we put our differences aside, steal a few tips from Jinnah, have an optimistic, powerful vision, and in all true sense, follow the three golden rules Quaid bestowed on us: unity, faith, and discipline. Thank you very much.
Yes, the role of women is very important. I would request Yashva Gauri from St. Mary, Cambridge to come on stage, our today's next contestant.
Good morning. My name is Yashwa Gauri and I am from St. Mary's Cambridge School. यूं दी है आज़ादी कि दुनिया हुई हैरान यूं दी है आज़ादी कि दुनिया हुई हैरान ऐ कायदे आज़म तेरा एहसान है एहसान Honorable Chief Guests, judges and my dear fellow students, today I have got the chance to tell you about Qaid Azam as the father of the nation. Father of nation Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born on 25 December 1876. He was a brave, honest and loyal person. He proved to be the best lawyer of that time. Because of his efforts and great leadership, Muslims got their separate state on 14 August 1947. Qaid Azam created numerous opportunities for the Muslims by the partition of subcontinent. He launched civil services and made Pakistan Civil Services Academy. Pakistan got the membership of United Nations. It was due to the statesmanship of Qaid Azam. Ordnance factory was also set up in the short period of Qaid Azam's Governor Generalship. A great honorable chief guest and judges, while explaining the ideology, he said that Pakistan not only means freedom and independence, but the ideology which has to be preserved, which has to come to us as a precious gift and treasure. He said to all of us that come forward as the servants of Islam, make sure that the people are organized economically, socially, educationally, and politically, and I am sure you will be the power that will be accepted by everyone. Qaid said to the students that Islam is our guide, it is the complete code of life. The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, said that Jinnah is one of the most extraordinary men in the history. Father of nation, achievement as the founder of Pakistan were many. He did in his long and crowded public life spanning 42 years. His personality was multidimensional and his achievements in other fields were many. A well-known author, Beverly Nicholas, said, the Qaid is most extraordinary man in Asia. He was a constitutionalist, a top-notch politician, freedom fighter, a dynamic Muslim leader, above all, one of the great nation builders of modern times. US President Harry Truman said that he was the originator of the dream that became Pakistan, architect of the state, and father of world's largest Muslim nation. Qaid Azam served Pakistan till he breathed his last. Although his broken health, he studied important files. Yet his determination to serve Pakistan was not weakened. Aga Khan said the greatest man he ever met was Jinnah. The great Mufti of Palestine considered his death to be a great loss to the entire world of Islam. On 11 September 1948, he passed away. Qaid worked hard to see Pakistan as a great nation. As we all have seen, a few days earlier, a disunity was occurred in the National Assembly. People were fighting. According to Qaid's motto, they have to solve their problems peacefully. Unity, faith, and discipline. So now, I will end my speech with this couplet. That is, खुदा करे कि मेरे अर्ज़े पाक पे उतरे. खुदा करे कि मेरे अर्ज़े पाक पे उतरे. वो फसले गुल जिसे अंदेशा ज़वाल ना हो. खुदा करे कि मेरे एक भी हम वतन के लिए. खुदा करे कि मेरे एक भी हम वतन के लिए हयात जुर्म ना हो, जिंदगी बाल ना हो. Thank you.
In his presidential address at the conference of the Punjab Muslim Student Federation on March 2nd, 1941, he said, when you have got that light of knowledge by means of education, and when you have made yourself strong economically and industrially, then you have got to prepare yourselves for your defense. Defense against external aggression and to maintain internal security. Our next contestant for today is Abraham Marcus from St. Mary, Cambridge.
My name is Abraham Marcus, and I am from St. Mary's Cambridge School. उस शख्स ने दुनिया के आगे हम सब की वकालत ऐसे की, उस शख्स ने दुनिया के आगे हम सब की वकालत ऐसे की, दुनिया की अदालत में लोगों वो हम सब की पहचान बना. Honorable Chief Guest, respected judges, and dear students, Assalamu alaikum. On this very special occasion dedicated to our founder Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, I am going to pay tribute to Quaid as father of nation. Life of Quaid was not a bed of roses. The struggle he began continued till the achievement of his goal. At the age of 70, after a long, hard, and distinguished career in law and politics, Quaid accepted challenges and responsibilities of head of a new state that he had founded. Once Quaid said that, failure is a word unknown to me, as Quaid himself believed that with faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. He felt pain that a father feels to see his children in trouble. It would not be an exaggeration to call him father of nation. Jinnah first entered politics in 1906 by joining Indian National Congress. Later on, seeing the political and economic condition of Muslims, joined Muslim League in 1913. Later on, he became a strong advocate of two-nation theory. In this regard, he once said that Muslims are a nation according to any definition of nation, and they must have their separate homeland, territory, and state. Even the foreign leaders were also impressed by the struggle of Quaid. Richard Simons once said that Jinnah contributed more than any other man to Pakistan's survival. Lord Lawrence said that Jinnah died by his devotion to Pakistan. It was the result of Quaid's tireless efforts that Pakistan came into being on 14th August 1947. But the Pakistan given to us by Quaid consisted of East and West Pakistan. But because of the socio-economic condition of East Pakistan, it got separated. Same thing happened with Kashmir. Muslims of Kashmir are fighting for their independence since the partition of subcontinent. If Quaid would have got few more years after the creation of Pakistan, conditions would have been much better. Unfortunately, the unstable democratic governments have always failed to complete their tenure, which eventually results in long-lasting dictatorship regimes. The politicians of Pakistan should follow the pathway of Quaid. Quaid, in relation to democracy, once said that democracy is in the blood of Muslims who look upon complete equality of man. Honorable Chief Guest, Quaid has given us the motherland that we wanted desperately. Now it is up to us to obey the orders and advices of Quaid if we really consider him our father of nation. I would like to give tribute to Quaid with a short poem. Quaid, the father of nation. Every soul knows his great narrations. He was the cause of Pakistan's creation. On differences between culture and tradition, he worked hard beyond our imaginations. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next contestant is Iman Ahmed from Supernova School, Islamabad F7.
Mr. President and my dear fellow Pakistanis, we are a blessed nation, for there is no country in the world which was formed on an ideology. Pakistan was formed on the ideology of Islam. Yes, we are a blessed nation. We are a blessed nation, for we eat, live, and pray freely according to the rules of Islam, and yet we live in harmony with the other religions. We are a blessed nation, for our national DNA is inherited from a great visionary leader, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Quaid Azam is the father of our nation. Yes, indeed, we are a blessed nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we may ask ourselves a question. Who is a father? A father is a figure of love, compassion, and ideology. We look up to our father as a role model. We look up to him as an advisor. We look up to him as a graceful man, and we look up to him most importantly as an ideal. So my fellow Pakistanis, we should look up to our father of nation, Quaid Azam, for the vision he had for Pakistan, for the dream he had for Pakistan, the reason he had for the reason he had for Pakistan, and most importantly, the expectation he had from Pakistan and us Pakistanis. So what expectation did our father have from our nation? Quaid-e-Azam wanted Pakistan to be an abode of Islam, yet he wanted the minorities to have equal freedom and rights. He wanted Islam to be practiced in every corner of the country, yet he wanted other religions to be practiced alongside. He wanted people to live by the teachings of Islam, yet he wanted us to be receptive of any modern education and new visions. Quaid-e-Azam must be a very proud father today, because today he lives in the dreams of Arfa Kareem. Today he lives in the bravery of Itazaz Hassan. Today he lives in the accomplishments of Ali Muin Nawazish. And today he smiles and feels proud on the Nobel Prize of Malala Yousafzai. Quaid-e-Azam is not only the father of our nation, he is an institution in himself. He is the vision. He is the destiny of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's pledge today. Let's pledge today that we will make this Pakistan Quaid-e-Azam's true replica, and we will make this Pakistan the Pakistan of his dreams. We will make this Pakistan the true replica of Quaid-e-Azam's ideology of unity, faith, and discipline. We will make this Pakistan Quaid-e-Azam's true Pakistan, and we will make our father proud. I would just like to end my speech by saying, Pakistan Zindabad and Quaid-e-Azam Paindabad. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Rida Tashfan from Supernova School, F7 Islamabad.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rida Tashfeen and I am from Supernova School F7 Islamabad. Ladies and gentlemen, one dark night in Karachi, when the whole city was asleep, a young boy was busy studying hard under a lamp's light. It was nearly 2 a.m. that his sister came and asked him, why isn't he asleep? If I go to sleep, then how would I become a great man? The boy replied. And his words proved him right. He became a really great man later on. A great leader who stood at the forefront to lead Muslims of the subcontinent to own a separate homeland. That boy, ladies and gentlemen, named Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was later on called Quaid-e-Azam. Quaid-e-Azam, the father of our nation, earned this title due to his great wisdom, intelligence, and perseverance. Under the dynamic leadership of Quaid-e-Azam, the Muslims of the subcontinent stood firm and united. Quaid-e-Azam worked extraordinarily hard for the cause of the Muslims. Jinnah earned the title of Quaid-e-Azam by paying a heavy price. He started his political career by joining the Muslim League in 1913, but soon realized that the Hindu-Muslim unity is an illusion short-lived. He defended the Muslim cause gallantly and presented his 14 points which saved the Hindu Muslims from the wickedness of Hindus. Muhammad Ali Jinnah's achievements as founder of Pakistan dominates everything else he did in his long and crowded life spanning 42 years. He was one of the greatest legal luminaries India has produced during the first half of the century. A great constitutionalist, a distinguished parliamentarian, a top-notch politician, an untiring freedom fighter, a dynamic Muslim leader, and above all, one of the greatest nation builders of modern times. What, however, makes him so remarkable is the fact that he created a nation out of incoherent and downtrodden minority. He gave them expression, a coherence and direction to their aspirations and guided them to their dreams of a separate homeland. For over 30 years, he fought relentlessly and inexorably for the honorable existence of Muslims in the subcontinent. His struggle for freedom culminated on August 14, 1948, with the birth of our beloved Pakistan. No doubt he played the role of father of the nation with distinction. With this, I beg leave. But before that, I would like to share this last message of Quaid Azam with you. Muhammad Ali Jinnah addressed the nation on August 14, 1948, and I quote, "The foundations of your state have been laid, and it is now for you to build, and build as quickly and as well as you can, with faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty. There is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve." Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have Mahnoor Chaudhary from Divisional Public School and College, Shamsabad. Come on stage, please.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahnoor Chaudhary and I'm from DPH School, Rawalpindi. In the name of the Lord, the most magnificent and the most merciful. The guide said, and I quote, "Work honestly, sincerely, and be faithful and loyal to Pakistan." I can assure you that there's nothing greater in this world than your own conscience. And when you appear before God, you can say that you performed your duty with a high sense of integrity, honestly, and sincerely. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the most revered leader of the Muslims of the subcontinent, was a man having inter alia, a strong moral character unmatched by any other contemporary leader of those days. He is quoted as an example of impeccable integrity on which he never compromised. He is a role model for those who believe that in a Muslim nation, personal character of leadership is as important as other necessary inherent qualities of leadership which get radiated to inspire people at large. But the trendsetter, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founding father of Pakistan, the father of the nation. Dear audience, Jinnah carried his sense of self-respect everywhere in dealing with Indian leaders of the day, including those belonging to Indian Congress. Jinnah was endowed with an impressive personality by nature, and on the top, if he would dress immaculately and maintain a facial and posture expression, which commanded respect from all who were in company. Can you find such a multidimensional personality in the history of subcontinent? I'm sure no. Jinnah advised to the students to go to educational institutions and devote their time to studies and acquire knowledge, which he explained was their best weapon. Alas, nowadays we have forgotten the value of education, haven't we? Quaid was a great human being, a great man, and a great leader. Above all, he was an upright and an honorable person. His personal qualities and his commitment to the cause of Pakistan had infused in him such a degree of confidence that he could look into eyes of British rulers without any fear and argue to win his case for creation of a new state. A notable poet has rightly said in the poem about Jinnah, "The prophet of a brighter dawn, a glittering jewel in the nation's crown, a beacon for the fallen ship, thus Jinnah Azam shall will renown." My humble submission is that in the context of prevailing political situation in Pakistan, where there are serious problems of internal security and countries facing foreign pressures, it is all more important that inspiration should be drawn from the examples set by the guide. So, are you people ready to do it? Are you, the future generation, ready to save this country from terrorism? Are you ready to seek more education and play your role in the development, progress, and prosperity of your nation? If your answer is yes, then seek guidance from the life, ideas, and qualities of the father of the nation. Thanks to your great guide, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would request Sabika Muzaffar from Divisional Public School and College, Shamsabad, Rawalpindi, to come on stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Sabika Muzaffar and I am from Divisional Public School, Shamsabad, Rawalpindi. A leader has a vision and conviction that a dream can be achieved. He inspired the power and energy to get it done. Mr. President and my dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. Today, I am here with you to share my views on the topic, Quaid as the father of nation. Mr. President, it is to be said that great people are born after centuries. They change the condition of the nation with their struggles and hard work. When Allah feels pity for a nation, then He sends such people in the world. Then the nation come out of the struggles and difficulties. And of course, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is one of them. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the most revered leader of the Muslims of the subcontinent, was a man having inter alia, a strong moral character, unmatched by any other contemporary leader of those days. Muhammad Ali Jinnah is said to be the most remarkable man of his time. Throughout his life, not even the worst of his enemy were able to point a finger towards him. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a great man and a leader. His leadership gave us place to live freely. He led the Muslims of the subcontinent towards one destination. His great leadership and the way of determinations are the best example for us to follow the father of nation. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah blessed us with a safe place to move freely, and it is all due to his strong leadership. Quaid said, "My message to all is of hope, courage, and confidence. Let us mobilize all our resources in a systematic and organized way and tackle the grave issues that confront us with a grim determinations and discipline worthy of a great nation." Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a very energetic and enthusiastic person who has never fallen apart due to the failures and sorrows. In this cruel world, there are a very few people who sacrifice their life to achieve the goals of the nation. And Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is one of them. He is one of the great personalities who changed the lives of the Muslim by making a separate nation for them. For this great work, he is known as Baba-i-Qaum, means the father of nation. No one knew that this great personality, who was born to Mr. Punja Jinnah, will change the history by making a separate nation for the Muslims of South Asia. Indeed, he was a very competent, honest, loyal, bold, and devoted leader in the history of Pakistan. He was a man of great qualities and heart and head. He was a top-quality spokesman who could mesmerize the listeners for hours. No doubt, he was a lively thinker and an intelligent man who has given an idea to the Muslims of South Asia that they are a separate state than the Hindus and they should have a separate nation where they can live according to the teachings of Islam. Mr. President, it was Muhammad Ali Jinnah who from his tireless activities and dedications made the world's largest migration in the history of mankind, which resulted in the formation of Pakistan in 1947. Again, it was Jinnah who took up the responsibility of taking the newly born state out of those destructive problems which could have very easily eliminated in the state from the map of the world. Mr. President, in the end, I just want to say that Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is our national hero. He is indeed one of the greatest leaders of Pakistan. It is our duty as a true Pakistani to follow his footsteps and work honestly for the solidarity and prosperity of Pakistan, the place for Pak and pious people. Let us uphold the biggest motto of our Quaid, unity, faith, and discipline. Quaid said, "With faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve." Thank you.
Indeed, a great hero, an icon of 20th century. Now, I would request Fatma Zahra from Divisional Public School and College Shamsabad to come on stage, our next contestant for today.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatma Zahra. I am from Divisional Public School in Rawalpindi. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful. Pakistan not only means freedom and independence, but the Muslim biology, which has to be presented, which has come to us as a precious gift and treasure, and which we hope Allah will share with us. Respected audience, today I am given a very important topic about one of the most honorable leader and personality of Pakistan, Quaid, as the father of the nation. Father of the nation, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's achievement, the founder of Pakistan, dominates everything else he did in his long and crowded public life spanning some 42 years. Yet, by any standard, his was an eventful life. His personality was multi-dimensional and his achievements in other fields were many. an ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity, a great constitutionalist, a distinguished parliamentarian, a top-notch politician, an indomitable freedom fighter, a dynamic Muslim leader, a political strategist, and above all, one of the greatest nation builders of modern times. Quaid said, with faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. What makes him so remarkable is the fact that while similar other leaders assumed leadership of traditionally well-defined nations and opposed their cause or led them to freedom, he created a nation out of an incoherent and downtrodden minority and established a cultural and national home for it. Can we find such a determined leader in the history of the world? He said, failure is a word unknown to me. For over 30 years, he guided their affairs. He had given expression, coherence, and direction to their legitimate aspirations and cherished dreams. If Pakistan had not come into being, how would Muslims have saved their culture, tradition, and what about safety of religion? So Quaid decided and said, there is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan. The Muslim League under Jinnah's dynamic leadership reorganized Deneville, transformed into massive organizations, and made the spokesman of India as never before. How did Muslims feel that their culture, religion, language were not safe? And then the question arises, after the arrival of Jinnah, how did this blatantly aggressive Congress policy, seized upon by Jinnah, to awaken the Muslims to a new conscience and organize them on all India platform? Actually, he gave coherence, direction, and articulation to their innermost desires. His life story was the story of the rebirth of the Muslims and their dramatic rise to nationhood. Jinnah said, I don't believe in taking the right decision. I take a decision and make it right. He considered youth the future of Pakistan. Now it's our time to determine that what should be done to set the pinnacle of success or to make this country stronger than before. I will end by these words. Fertile is the womb of this Mother Earth, where a leader like Quaid Azam finds birth. Famed to the corner of the world again, for over 50 years as a Quaid he ranged. People like Quaid shall always live to the life itself, the light they will give. Thank you.
Yes, failure is a word unknown to me. That was Quaid. Our next contestant for today is Hania Ahmed from Divisional Public School and College Shamsabad Rawalpindi. A huge round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respect to all my listeners, Mr. President, the teachers, fellows, and everyone under this roof. Today, I'm here to throw an ample light on the personality of our beloved Quaid as father of nation. I wonder if I could get a few worthy words to be said about him. Mr. President, Quaid Azam is widely called the father of nation because it is due to his wisdom, intelligence, and untiring efforts that Pakistan came into being. But, Mr. President, he was not always Quaid Azam. No one knew that this weakling boy of Punja Jinnah was going to change the future of Indian Muslims one day. He would be considered the greatest leader and the bravest of all men. Jinnah paid a heavy price to become Quaid Azam and to be called the father of nation. He left a deep and respected legacy in Pakistan. According to his biographer, Stanley Watpot, he remains the greatest leader. The audience, the founder of Pakistan and the father of nation, had an eventful life and a multi-dimensional personality. He had always a choice to have the best of life anyone can desire for, but our Quaid chose for us. He chose to be in troubles for us. He decided to gain hostility to every other person for the sake of getting a separate homeland for us. He rather sacrificed everything he possessed, including his health. His passion remained unshakable, and his courage proved dauntless in the face of all kinds of miserable situations. The North Masala regards Pakistan as a one-man achievement. Mr. President, I believe the fact that if we are breathing freely in an independent state, it is merely because we happen to get Muhammad Ali Jinnah as our leader in the darkest of times, at times when Muslims were left behind in every field of life. when they were not free to have the jobs of their will and ability. Mr. President, it was Jinnah who dreamed that Pakistan would emerge as a sovereign democratic state where the law would reign supreme and the politicians would work with honesty and dedication for the state. All citizens, including women, will play an important role in the development of the country. Human rights would be promoted and quick justice would be in reach of all. Poverty and illiteracy would be eradicated in the minimum possible time. But firmly holding to the principles of unity, faith, and discipline, he wanted the nation to move forward and to get its place among the developed countries of the world. But take a break, Mr. President. If all these were the pursuits of an Islamic democratic state, then what's going on here? Even after 70 years of independence, Tecumseh rightly said, when the legends die, the dreams end. There is no more greatness. Quaid once stated, there is no power that can undo Pakistan. The world acknowledged had there been no Jinnah, there would have been no Pakistan. So we are rightful to acclaim him Quaid Azam, the greatest leader and the father of nation. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Sayyid Changez Rafe Kesser from Beacon House School System Civil Line Branch as our next contestant. Do we have Ayla Malik here? Your sister is worried about you. Just contact her. Ayla Malik. She's a guest with her sister.
Respected headmisters, dear teachers, and my fellow students, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sayyid Chingez Rafiq Kesser, and today I am honored to talk about the father of our nation, Quaid Azam. Quaid Azam was one of the greatest legal luminaries India had ever created during the first half of this century, an ambassador of the Hindu-Muslim unity, a great constitutionalist, a brilliant parliamentarian, a top-notch politician, an indefatigable freedom fighter, a dynamic Muslim leader, a political strategist, and above all, one of the great nation builders of modern time. What, however, makes him so remarkable is that, while similar other leaders assumed the leadership of well-defined nations, he created a nation out of an intuit and a downtrodden minority and established a cultural and national home for you and for you and for you all. And all that within a decade. For over 3 decades before the successful culmination in 1947 of the struggle for freedom, Jinnah had provided political leadership to the Indian Muslims, initially as one of the leaders, but since 1947 as the only prominent leader, the Quaid Azam. For over 30 years, he had guided their affairs. He had given expression, coherence, and direction to their legitimate aspirations and cheerful dreams. And for over 30 years, he had fought for the inherent right of the Muslims for an honorable existence in the subcontinent. Indeed, his life story constitutes, as it were, the story of the rebirth of the Muslims and their spectacular rise to nationhood, phoenix-like. Today, if we look back and think what kind of power Jinnah gave us in the form of an independent country, we cannot thank enough for such blessing as nations which are suffering badly and dominating hands, and those who have freedom must acknowledge this great gift. As Quaid said, Pakistan not only means freedom and independence, but Muslims' ideology, which has to be preserved, which has come to us as a precious gift and treasure, and which we hope others will share with us. May Allah shower His countless bounties on His soul and guide us to become true Pakistanis by following His principles of faith, unity, and discipline. Pakistan, Zindabad! Thank you.
Thank you. Our next participant for today is Aisha Tariq from Jinnah Preparatory School, Satellite Town, Rawalpindi.
सच्चाई के अनमोल असूलों को संभाला, सच्चाई के अनमोल असूलों को संभाला, जिना तेरे पैगाम में जादू था निराला. My name is Aisha Tariq and I am from Jinnah Preparatory School, Satellite Town, Rawalpindi. The topic on which I am going to speak today is Quaid-e-Azam as the founder of the nation. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a Muslim lawyer, politician, statesman and the founder of Pakistan. He is popularly and officially known as Quaid-e-Azam and Baba-e-Qaum, the father of the nation. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a great leader. The cherished dream of a separate homeland for the Muslims of the Indo-Pak subcontinent was fulfilled under his inspiring leadership. He worked extraordinarily hard for the sake of the Muslims, and the reward of the continued struggle came in the form of creation of Pakistan on August 14, 1947. Quaid-e-Azam and his team of dedicated workers had given enormous sacrifices for achieving their cherished goal. Pakistan had not come into being by mere chance or fluke. It had needed sacrifices of all sorts from the Muslims who stood firm and united under the dynamic leadership of Quaid-e-Azam. He proposed a 14-point constitutional reform plan to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in a self-governing India. Jinnah later advocated the two-nation theory, embracing the goal of creating a separate Muslim state as per the Lahore Resolution. The League won most reserved Muslim seats in the elections of 1946. As the first Governor General of Pakistan, Jinnah led efforts to lay the foundations of the new state of Pakistan, frame national policies, and rehabilitate millions of Muslim refugees who had migrated from India. Jinnah died aged 71 in September 1948, just over a year after Pakistan has created. After his death, Jinnah left a deep and respected legacy in Pakistan, and according to Stanley Wolberg, Jinnah remained Pakistan's greatest leader since the establishment of Pakistan in 1947. Unfortunately, however, we have not been able to serve the country with the same spirit with which it had come into being. We have not been able to do full justice to our nation yet. Still, there's time for the wake-up call. We can still make the difference by having the same spirit with which the country was created. तू ही शम्माए कारवां है, तू ही मंजिल की फला, तू ही शम्माए कारवां है, तू ही मंजिल की फला, जिंदा ओ पाइंदाबाद ए Quaid-e-Azam Jinnah. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Hajra Saifullah from the Play School F81 as our next contestant. Hajra, please come on stage.
Honorable judges, respected teachers, and my dear school fellows, Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic of my speech is Quaid-e-Azam as a father of nation. Quaid-e-Azam was a great leader of Pakistan who was born on 25th of December 1876. He was one of the remarkable heroes in the history. He was the only leader who gave sacrifices and efforts to fulfill the dream of Allama Iqbal to make a new state for Muslims. Because Muslims were suffering in a great extent in Hindu British rule. Dear sir, it has been decades to demise of Quaid, but his footprints and his great personality is still alive in our hearts and minds. Due to his great characteristics, he is still having a role of heartbeat of people. His life is a beacon of life for all of us. Dear sir, when we deeply study the Quaid-e-Azam's personality, we come to know that Quaid used to work hard since his childhood, and he took care of his time. He only believed in work, and just work. He usually said that the word failure is not found in his dictionary. He believed firmly in hard work, and this was the only reason he never failed in his life. Dear friends, Christian Gokhale said that Quaid was out of religious and sectarian prejudices. due to which he became the ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity. But it does not mean that he ignored the Islamic life. In fact, he gained more importance in his personal life. He loved Islam to the moon and back, which was proved when he demanded for a separate state. Quaid was a model of self-confidence, which was successful in achieving his goal to make a separate homeland. Our leader Quaid was an intelligent leader, as well as active and lively. We still love our founder, and he will be always alive in our hearts. Quaid Azam Zindabad. Thank you.
Yes, his footprints and personality is alive, and it will remain alive. We have our next contestant as Aisha Abid from Beacon House School System PWD Extension Branch. Aisha Abid, please come on stage.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Aisha Abid and I'm from class 5th A, Beacon House PWD Extension Branch. And I'm going to talk about the topic Quaid as the father of the nation. One dark night in Karachi, when the whole city was asleep, it was quite late, but one young child was studying hard under a lamp's light. It was nearly 2 a.m. that his sister came to him and asked him to go to sleep, and he replied, "If I go to sleep now, how will I become a great man?" Ladies and gentlemen, his words proved him right. He really became a great man later on. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, a lawyer, politician, and the founder of Pakistan, was born on 25th December 1876 in Karachi. Quaid Azam had many good qualities. He was intelligent and his leadership was God-gifted. Quaid Azam was a great leader. The valued dream of a separate homeland for the Muslims of the subcontinent was fulfilled under his inspiring leadership. Quaid Azam. He worked hard for the Muslims, and the reward of the continuous struggle was in the form of the creation of Pakistan on 14th August 1947. Quaid Azam and his team of dedicated workers had given huge sacrifices to accomplish their goals. Dear all, Pakistan was not made by a coincidence or a fluke. It needed many sacrifices. It needed many sacrifices from all the people who stood firm and united under the leadership of Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Quaid Azam, who never compromised on a Muslim's dignity, who was honest with an unbending and most graceful personality. He was a hallmark of character and indeed was the father of the nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to call Noor Rahman from Allied School, Eagle Campus, Rawalpindi to come on stage.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Today we are gathered here all to pay homage to the great leader of the Muslims of the subcontinent known as Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He became a great leader by helping Muslims obtain a separate homeland. Muslims were blessed to have such a leader who stood by their side in order to achieve a separate and free homeland. He is revered as Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, father of the nation or Baba-e-Qaum in Pakistan. A person may wonder, what is the reason for Quaid Azam to be revered as father of the nation? The answer to this very basic question is that he is the political figure who gave life to the concept on which this nation stands today. To put it in the simplest and most basic terms, ideology of Pakistan evolved by passing through four important phases. First, the historical experience of the Muslims of South Asia provided the base. Allama Iqbal provided the philosophy. Quaid translated it into a political reality. And the first Constituent Assembly of Pakistan gave the ideology of Pakistan a legal nature. The role of Quaid as the father of the nation is very clear. It is he who raised the Muslims of the subcontinent to achieve the breakthrough, change the history and maps of the region for good. According to Quaid Pakistan had came into existence the very day the first Hindu and India had embraced Islam. The above-mentioned saying has abundant history in its fold. Quaid had rightfully mentioned the unfathomable truth of the history that Muslim nationhood existed the very day the Hindu came into the folds of Islam. The extraordinary yet justifiable truth and demand of the Muslims for a different nation was based on the claim that Muslims were a separate nation from Hindus. Nationhood of the Muslims couldn't be justified based on the common ancestry of Hindus and Muslims and the fact that the two had lived together for centuries. However, it was the ideology of Pakistan that made it clear that Muslims needed a separate state because they were a separate nation and they had a separate faith. This being said, the Muslims, once clear of their identity, had the last hurdle removed from their path, the hurdle that had hindered their path towards independence. The role of the Quaid as a proponent of two-nation theory, which has its roots in the ideology of Pakistan, is twofold. Thus, his contributions as a political, ideological, and intellectual affairs made the dream of independence possible and he gained the title of Father of the Nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next contestant for today is Ikra Chaudhary from Beacon House School, Peshawar Road. A huge round of applause. I think our audience is sleeping. Please appreciate them so they can come up with the best.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. The topic under discussion, Quaid as father of nation. Someone said, and I quote, "Of all the personalities in great drama of India's rebirth to independence, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the most enigmatic and important personality. Considering freedom on independence ground, freedom is the precious feeling of being free, mentally, physically, and practically. A great man is one who serves humanity's heart and soul. No one is great who is great only in his own life. The test of greatness is the page of history. History is replaced with good deeds of men whose sacred and sole aim of life is to help their fellow men. We read and recall, commemorate and command the names of many greatest scientists, artists, poets, and philosophers whose selfless and tireless efforts brought comfort to suffering humanity, fighting for them, holding moral grounds. They leave this mortal world, but their death makes them immortal because their efforts give them an immortal life in hearts of people and at times in hearts of nation. Even as a nation, there is no privilege if there is no freedom. Freedom is the basic right that belongs to us by the laws of Allah and nature. In the darkness of slavery, we got blessed with a genius leader who dealt in hope and courage and gathered the betrayed, weakened, and fragile nation and gifted us with a nation, with a homeland, Pakistan. A leader of strong will, a leader of strong commitments, a leader of outstanding character, a leader of exceptional intelligence. Yes, I'm talking about Quaid Azam, the son of land of pure, the greatest founder, the greatest lawyer. Jinnah rose to prominence and proposed reforms to safeguard the political rights of Muslims. By advocating the two-nation theory, he embraced the goal of creating a separate homeland for Muslims. In his address in 1947, he said, "We should have a state in which we could live and breathe as free men, and which we could develop according to our own culture, and where the Islamic principle of Islamic social justice could find free play." He was not only a great leader, but was a great constitutional expert who had a vision of strong federation. Quaid Azam was stern, but was enthusiastic. He was brilliantly confident with an absolute personality having a firm soul. He gave us the message of unity, faith, and discipline. The nation salutes him for all his sacrifice and devotion. At the end, I would like to say that a nation is not defined by its borders or of the land. Rather, a nation is defined by its people. We have been unified by a cause. So we are committed to the vision of type of society people wish to live in and would like to provide to the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next contestant is Iman Farooq from IMCG I-91.
In the name of Allah, who is the Lord of the Lords and the King of the Kings, few individuals significantly alter the course of history. Few still modify the map of the world. Hardly anyone can be credited with creating a nation state. Muhammad Ali Jinnah did all three, unquote. Honorable President, distinguished audience, and my worthy judges, today, the topic of my speech is Muhammad Ali Jinnah as the father of the nation. My dear listeners, the quoted lines by Professor Stanley Walpert in his book Jinnah of Pakistan add to our pride on the father of the nation. They tell us a lot. They tell us about the greatness of a leader, for whom this nation was everything, for whom this nation was the only dream, for whom the separate homeland for the Muslims of India was the only reason for ignoring himself, his family, his health, and even his life. Mr. President, let me clarify something. Jinnah was not a community-bound leader. His efforts for the liberty of united India was what he started off with. His labor was for the Muslims and the Hindus alike. He was a great supporter of Hindu-Muslim unity, so he joined All India National Congress. However, the tide of time made him change his course in the favor of the Muslims. After the 1937 elections, when the majority Congress party refused to share power, not only this, the Muslims became the only victim of the British and the Hindus' brutalities alike. Jinnah concluded that under the Congress command, the Muslims would become second-class citizens. From then on, the road led to Pakistan. My dear audience, the father of this nation played an even more significant role in the consolidation of Pakistan. To quote Richard Simons, Jinnah contributed more than any other man to Pakistan's survival, unquote. My dear audience, as you know, the enemy started making hostile propaganda against Pakistan that she would soon collapse like a house of cards. The Quaid felt that the nation was being unnerved by the propaganda and that this situation called for an urgent remedy. The Quaid, despite his failing health, made extensive tours through all the 5 provinces of the country. He met the people, addressed them, gave them courage and hope. His speeches built the confidence of the nation and infused in the people a new zeal and enthusiasm. This fatherly attitude and support, Mr. President, this fatherly attitude and support made this child nation start crawling and walking and ultimately acquired the speed, the mobility, and the maturity that was needed for its growth. This land, with the voice of Allahu Akbar from every mosque, this land, with the people spending their lives according to the orders of Allah freely, this land, with the cultural diversity, with the sweetness of many versified languages, with the flowing flow of the 5 rivers, this land, with the lush green meadows, the sky kitten Ketu, this land, with the rich and colorful coast, this land, with the hidden minerals and the visible beauties, is the gift of a father. Mr. President, can someone think of something gifted to his children better than all this? His efforts, his work, his sincerities, his physical and mental health, everything, Mr. President, everything was ending on Pakistan, for Pakistan.
Nobody could stop him. He went on and on until the angel of death came to capture his breath. I would like to end my speech by saying that let us all make a resolve to rise above the personal motives and differences and make the promise of Pakistan in consonance with Qaid's lofty ideas. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Inara from American Grammar School and College.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. The President, respected guests, honorable judges, and my student fellows, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Inara Beagle, and I'm a student of American Grammar School and Colleges. And my topic is Quaid Azam, the father of our nation. Why I idolize Quaid Azam as one of the greatest leaders. Honorable judges, Quaid Azam was an honest, devoted, loyal, and one of the boldest leaders in the history of Pakistan, in the history of the world. He is the father of the nation because without the struggles of Quaid Azam, we wouldn't be living freely like this in our very own country, Pakistan. He said that with faith, discipline, and unity, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. All the great changes in the past are connected to the great leaders of our country. The Pakistan that we see today is a totally different country. Pakistan, a unique country based on justice, equality, consultation, accountability, had been the pioneer of democracy. Today, we can see a totally lack of principles of Islamic social justice and constructive education, which is the light of knowledge. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah said, if you adopt education, then I'm sure you're a power that will be accepted by everyone. The most important point to be kept in mind, honorable judges, is that in the sector of education, Pakistan has a history of false starts, slow progress, and even false attempts. Every nation in the past that wanted to have power over other nations occupied education. Occupation is the root of development of any nation. Honorable judges, Pakistan then was a country of devoted and selfless leaders. But the Pakistan that I see today is a country of corrupt and self-interest leaders. Today, common people like you, common people like me, we feel unrest, which is a reaction of the inequality, of the unemployment, of the poverty, and all the other faces that our beloved country is facing. Leadership, like Quaid Azam and his followers, lead to success. They use leadership powers to improve the welfare and the standard of living of the people's country. Pakistan. Our Quaid, back in April 14, 1948, said, service is the backbone of the state. Governments are formed, governments are defeated. Prime ministers come and go, but the civil servants, they always stay, and therefore there is a great responsibility placed on their shoulders. The slogan of our Quaid is of discipline, faith, discipline, and unity. Quaid said we should have a state in which we could live and breathe as free men and develop our country with our own culture and lights. Dear all, today we all need honest and competent leaders like Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Long live Pakistan.
Our next contestant is Hadia Nasser from Divisional Public School, Rawalpindi.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. His mind virile, placid and serene, stood like a rock ever in a stormy stream. His actions vivacious, brisk and brave, to the Muslims of course, parkland he gave. There wasn't a knot in the battle he fought, through dusk and dark, away he sought. Respected audience, Quaid-e-Azam is the greatest leader of this century. He devoted his life to the creation of Pakistan. He is indeed father of the nation. Physically, Quaid-e-Azam was a weak and thin person. His health was not good, but on the other hand, he was a man of strong will. He had to face a large number of problems and hardships, but he remained firm to his stand. He said, "With faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve." My fellows, through his great quality, he failed the Hindu intrigues and the English mind and succeeded in his mission. He got a separate homeland for the Muslims of subcontinent. He was aware of the fact that if British would leave subcontinent, and according to British rule of democracy, the majority will be authority, that is Hindus. And the authority of Hindus means demolition of Muslims and Islam. He always said that what would be the future of the Muslims of subcontinent? Would Islam be in safer hands? Would Muslims be allowed to do Islamic rituals? Would Muslims be allowed to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, Eid Milad-un-Nabi? What about fasting in Ramadan? All these things were disturbing his mind. He won the battle according to rules and laws. Dear audience, after 7 years of continuous struggle, on 14th August 1947, subcontinent was divided into two states, India and Pakistan. His dream came true and Pakistan emerged on the map of world. It was a great success for Jinnah. Despite it, he was not proud. He stayed humble and started his work to stable this new nation. I would like to end with these words for my beloved Quaid. Victorious, glorious, gracious he remained, vigorous, laborious, and spacious he claimed. Let us march without heavy a heart to the arrow he shot, to the thought he brought. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Amal Farhan from Beacon House Public School.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I am Amal Farhan from grade 5, Beacon House Civil Lines, Rawalpindi. Freedom is a condition in which people have the opportunity to speak, act, and pursue happiness without unnecessary external restrictions. It is important because it leads to enhanced expressions of creativity and original thought, increased productivity, and an overall high quality of life. The importance of freedom is truly appreciated by those who struggle hard and make enormous sacrifices to acquire freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, it is owing to the endless effort and struggle of Quaid-e-Azam that we stand here today as a free nation and enjoy all its privileges. He stood at the forefront to lead Muslims who were blessed to have such a leader who stood by their side in their struggle to own a separate and a free homeland. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was born on December 25th, 1876 to a well-known business family in Karachi. He was a 20th century lawyer, politician, statesman, and the founder of Pakistan. He is popularly and officially known in Pakistan as Quaid-e-Azam, great leader. Jinnah served as leader of the All Indian Muslim League from 1913 till Pakistan's independence on August 14, 1947, and Pakistan's first Governor General from August 15, 1947 till his death. Jinnah rose to prominence in the Indian National Congress, initially expounding ideas of Hindu-Muslim unity and helping shape the 1960 Lucknow Pact between the Muslim League and the Indian National Congress. He also became a key leader in the All India Home Rule League. He proposed a 14-point constitutional reform plan to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in a self-governing India. Jinnah later advocated the two-nation theory, embracing the goal of creating a separate Muslim state as per the Lahore Resolution. After the British and Congress backed out of the cabinet mission plan, Jinnah called for a direct action day to achieve the formation of Pakistan. As the Indian National Congress and Muslim League failed to reach a power-sharing formula for united India, it prompted both the parties and the British to agree to independence for united India. Quaid Azam is one of the few personalities in this world who helped their nation to achieve their goals.
Our next contestant is Amna Alamgir from IMCG IN1.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I start with the greatest name of Allah, who is the most gracious and merciful, who is the Lord and Master of entire universe. Fertile is the womb of Mother Earth, where a leader like Quaid Azam find birth. Honorable President, distinguished audience, and worthy judges, today I am here to pay tribute to the father of the nation, who was an extraordinary man, one man who gave birth to the beloved state for the Muslim. Yes, I am going to talk about the father of the nation, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Mr. President, the father of the nation, like father, remembered this child nation till his last breath. His life was a continuous effort. He was a man whose determination rivaled the heights of galaxies, who had won the political war against the Hindus and British, who had cut off 200-year-old chain of slavery and had led Muslims to demand freedom and independence. Mr. President, God created Pakistan out of sheer will and enormous odds. Muslims continued their organized effort under the guidelines provided to them by the father of the nation. Dear listeners, it was due to the determined and shrewd leadership of Quaid Azam that Muslims got their own homeland. The Quaid services are not over. Even after the partition of subcontinent, about 6 million refugees migrated to Pakistan. This problem was excellently managed under the guideline provided by the father of the nation. The provisional government were entrusted with the responsibility of rehabilitating the refugees, and a Center Refugees Council were formed for coordinating and controlling the operation carried out by the provisional government. Mr. President, how can a father be indifferent to the significant role played and needed to be played by the daughters in home? Quaid knew what the women of Pakistan need. Quaid knew what the women of Pakistan need to do. And Quaid knew how different Pakistan looked with the contribution of women. The Quaid exhorted upon the public servants that they should devise a system under which women can make a fair contribution. Dear listeners, I have actually no words to express to which heights of heights my Quaid touch. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have Aisha Malik from Beria Foundation College. Please come on stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, who is the most gracious and most merciful. खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aisha Malik and I am here from Beria Foundation College. Today the topic which I am going to discuss is Quaid Azam as a father of nation. This year, 2016, December 25, is a celebration day of 141st yearly birthday of our great, brilliant leader, Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He said, with faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. He's a legend who cannot be forgotten not only by the Pakistanis, but at the same time, the non-Muslims also do appreciate the thinking of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. He said, "No nation can rise the height of glory unless your women are side with you." Various people do make various debates on the birth and the early life of Jinnah in the behavior, ethics, and ideology which turned a sleeping nation into an energetic group of people. He said that freedom can never be attained by a nation without suffering and sacrifice has been amply borne out by the recent tragedy of the subcontinent. The life of Muhammad Ali Jinnah is being praised not only by the Muslims, but the non-Muslims also do appreciate the thinking of him. He said, "If we want to make this great state happy and prosperous, we have wholly and solely concentrate on the well-being of the masses and the poor." Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah gave a motto: unity, faith, and discipline, through his personal examples, and instilled this message to the youth of his time and for future generations. He said, "There is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad."
Pakistan Zindabad. Now we have Nishwa Rana from American Grammar School, Barakau. Please come on stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The President, honorable guests, and my dear fellows, good morning. Good afternoon. My name is Nishwa and I am from American Grammar School and College. The topic of my speech is Quaid-e-Azam is the father of nation. Every person in this world has a hero. People have heroes because they really admire that person and they really look up to that person. They want to do what they have done and they have achieved in their life. Like every person, I also have a hero. My hero had a great personality and a great heart. His name is Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. I choose him as a hero because I really admire him. I admire his style, personality, and what he did for our Muslims of our country. He gave Muslims freedom from the British that was ruling at that time. He was born on December 25th, 1876 in Karachi. He was educated at St. Madrasatul Islam and the Christian Mission School. He started his career as a lawyer. He formally entered politics in 1905 and joined Congress. He got us the freedom by forming a political party called Muslim League. The Muslim League had a great impact on the Indian politics. The British and the Indians were shocked at how all the Muslims came up together asking for them to give them their own free country. To get freedom, he played a big role. He stood up for the Muslims so they could have a free country on August 14, 1947. His last message for the nation was, "The foundation of your state have been laid, and it is now for you to build and as quickly as well you can." I really admire him. He is like a hero to everyone in my country. This is because of what he did for our country. He fought so much for us, and he did so much for us. For us that no one can forget. He is a great freedom hero for me. Thank you.
Thank you. And our today's last contestant is Haris Ali from Bacon House School, Peshawar Road.
distinguished judges, honorable guests, and my dear fellow citizens of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Assalamu alaikum. I'm truly privileged to be a part of this auspicious ceremony where I can pay my tribute to one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century the world has ever known. On this day, 140 years ago, a ray of light and hope entered this world, a light which was destined to lead an enslaved nation out of darkness. Named after Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu anhu, he truly lived up to the greatness of his name. He became the guiding light for the deliverance of the Muslims of the subcontinent and freed them from the shackles of slavery. Yes, my proud Pakistanis, we are indeed the legacy of none other than Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the father of the nation. So why is he called the father of the nation? The very mention of the word father engulfs us with this feeling of warmth, love, care, and security. A father not only thinks about the present of his children, but also strives his entire life to provide them with the best possible future. So the title, Father of the Nation, is indeed very befitting for Muhammad Ali Jinnah, as his vision extended to not only providing a free homeland for the Muslims of the subcontinent, but also securing a safe future for their coming generations. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, a man with a foresight and vision, an architect who realized the dream of Allama Iqbal, an arbitrator who proved that pen is mightier than sword, a protagonist who, by moral and intellectual force, defeated all the forces of opposition. The greatness of Jinnah is acknowledged by both his friends and foes. Gandhi, in his letters, addressed him as Quaid-e-Azam and said, "I believe that no power can buy Mr. Jinnah." Lord Mountbatten honored his integrity in the following words: Jinnah had never done an agreement by bowing to anyone but on equal basis. The following words of our Quaid resonate with the entire nation. There is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad.
Yes, there is no power on earth that can undo Pakistan. Thank you for your time you spent speaking here. Our judges are busy in compiling results. Till that time, I would request our special guest, our chief guest of today's event, Mr. Farooq Ahmed Dar, to please come on stage. As I told you, he's in this much love with Jinnah that he has done his PhD on him, so he'll definitely have a lot of things to share with us. Please give him a huge round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respectable judges, honorable faculty members, and my dear kids, Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm really honored, not because I'm here as the chief guest, but because I got an opportunity to listen to the future of Pakistan. The kids who will take the lead in the times to come. The kids who will definitely, inshallah, make my beloved Pakistan the Pakistan of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. You know, there are a lot of people in Pakistan who have lost hope. They say that we are not moving in the right direction. They say that we have lost our direction. But after listening to these kids, these talented kids, with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of patriotism, with a lot of love for the father of the nation, at least I will leave this hall as an optimist and not as a pessimist. Kids, you know, one basic problem that our country is facing, that we are all running after the materialistic gains. We are trying to become part of those professions where we could earn a lot. And we have lost our own identity because of it. There are hardly any kids in this country who are taught and who would love to know more about their ancestors. You know, history is considered as one of the, the last priorities of our kids to study. But kids, please try to understand this point, that nations who forget their history, history forgets them. And we, if we really want to move forward, we have to focus more on history. I'm not asking all of you to go and specialize in history in the times to come. But what I'm trying to say, that at least few of you should at least put some emphasis or to make it a priority that this subject should not be neglected. This is the subject which enables us to know more about our heroes. This is the subject which enables us to know more about who we are. And without knowing it, how can we move forward? You know, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that when somebody asks, who is your hero? Many of our youngsters talk about the Indian film actors. You know, at a time, you are people, you are residents of Pakistan. I do not think you have to look for any other hero. The hero is available in the personality of Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Kids, the last book that I wrote on Jinnah, it took me 6 years to find the material and to write that book. Alhamdulillah, I got the opportunity to visit the archives of all the nations, or 5, 6 nations, you know. I went to United States, UK, India, Bangladesh, you know, everywhere, and collected the material. And after reading all that stuff, I realized that, you know, just considering him as the father of the nation is not enough. He is probably beyond that. He was even a bigger personality. And you know, what makes him a great man? 3 Ds: devotion, dedication, and determination. And these were the basic qualities which he had. And even if we want to grow, we want to move forward, we need to have these 3 basic qualities. You know, Jinnah's, if we look at Jinnah's practical life, we can easily divide it into four parts. First, when he acted as a lawyer, and he became the best lawyer in India at that time. Second, when he acted as the ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity, and he was probably the biggest Indian nationalist at that point of time. Third phase, he acted as Muslim nationalist, and he created Pakistan out of all the odds. And fourth, he acted as the Governor General of Pakistan. He took over this role of an administrator at an age of 70. And that too at a time when he was fragile, he was weak, and his health was very bad, in a very bad shape. Yet, he worked day and night, and in a small span of 1 year, he almost managed to resolve all the problems that the country was facing at that time. I would once again emphasize on the fact that if you people want to see Pakistan going forward, want to see Pakistan as one of the leading nations of the world, the entire responsibility lies on your shoulders. You are the future of Pakistan. And in order to take this country to the zenith, I think the best thing is to follow what our great leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah wanted us to do. Thank you very much.
Now I would request DGPNCA Syed Jamal Shah to come on stage so that we can start our shield distribution ceremony. A huge round of applause. Welcome, sir. I've got the results with me. Okay. So, the fourth position is Safa Tariq. Safa Tariq. A huge round of applause. Safa Tariq from ICG. The third position, that is Fatma to Zahra. Fatma to Zahra, a huge round of applause. And first position, actually second. Yeah. Second position, Sayyid Muhammad Qasim. Sayyid Muhammad Qasim from Kid Care School, Rawalpindi. Congratulations, boy. Excited to know the first one? I cannot hear you. Okay. So the first position, that award goes to Ariba Shabir. Ariba Shabir from Allied School. Congratulations. And Ariba, you'll get, come on stage for a picture and you'll get your award on 25th at Liaquat Gymnasium. You don't know by whom. Congratulations. Our chief guest is running short of time, so for certificate distributions, I would request our judges to come on stage so that we can continue with that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of us and gracing us with your presence here. Indeed, indeed, it was a matter of honor. A huge round of applause for our chief guest. And our DG as well. Because he is the person. Okay, for a group photo, I would request all of the participants to come on stage, but please line up yourself. All the participants, please come on stage for a group photo. All of you. And after this group photo, you'll get your certificates as well. After this group photo, I'll call your name one by one, and then you guys can come up on stage and collect your certificates. Just move forward. Kids, move forward and make yourself fit in the frame. Kids, just sit. Yes. मैं कहती हूँ कहाँ है इनके सर्टिफिकेट पहुंचा देना दें दें ऊपर दें मैंने बुलाया था मैंने कहा था Please, judges, I request them to come on stage. I would request our respected judges to come on stage for certificates distribution. I'll call your names and then you'll come up, okay? Respected judges, I request them to come on stage for certificates distribution. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Hafsa Noor. Kuratulain. Kuratulain Afzal. Hadia Zafar. Hadia Zafar. Momina Jameel. Try to make it a bit faster, okay? Shumaima Naseem or Nasir. Safa Tariq. Safa Tariq. Sayyid Muhammad Qasim. Congratulations, boy. Ariba Shabir. Ariba Shabir. M. Saqib Abbasi. M. Saqib Abbasi. Javeria Shahzad. Javeria Shahzad. Naima Kamran. Naima Kamran. Mutahira Sultana. Mutahira Sultana. Maryam Shah. Maryam Shah. Hafsa Ijaz. Hafsa Ijaz. Shamaim Shahid, Muiz Akbar, Muiz Akbar, Yashfa Ghori, Yashfa Ghori, Abraham Marcus, Abraham, Iman Ahmed, Mahnoor Chaudhary, Mahnoor Ahmed, Mahnoor Chaudhary, Sabika Muzaffar, Sabika Muzaffar, Fatma Zahra, Hania Ahmed, Hania, okay, it's Hania. Hania Ahmed, Sayyid Changiz Rafe, Sayyid Changiz Rafe, Aisha Tariq, Hajra Saifullah, Hajra Saifullah, Aisha Abid, Noor Rahman, Noor Rahman, Ikra Chaudhary, Ikra Chaudhary, Haris Ali, Haris Ali, Arisha Malik, Arisha Malik, Iman Farooq, Iman Farooq, Iman Farooq, ये मेरे हाथ में, आमना आलमगीर, आमना आलमगीर, इनारा, हफ्सा इजाज, वाजिद अली, हादिया नासिर, जुबदा भट्ट, अमल फरहान, अमल फरहान, मीसम रजा, मीसम रजा, सईदा वरूद गिलानी, सईदा वरूद गिलानी, निशवा राना, आयशा मलिक, Aisha Abid and Wajid Ali. And we had some volunteers as well. And now I request all of the participants to get your refreshment from the reception desk. Don't leave without that. अब मैंने लिस्ट पता नहीं कहाँ की है. Okay, we had some volunteers. Uzair Zishan Sheikh, Uzair Nayab, Chaudhry Ali Amjad, Malik Osama Babar, Shiroz Ali Sadiq, and Imran Malik. Thank you so much for your help. And thank you so much, all of you, to be a part of us. Now I request Director Admin Mr. Mustain Alvi to come on stage and say a few words.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Please be seated. I would not आप लोगों के दरमियान में नहीं आऊँगा रिफ्रेशमेंट में. एक छोटी सी बात मैंने करनी थी कि वो तमाम टीचर्स जिन्होंने कंट्रीब्यूट किया है और आज के प्रोग्राम में आए हैं, आप सबसे पहले भी कहा गया है कि अपने नाम रजिस्टर करवाएं. वो बच्चे, वो टीचर्स और वो वॉलंटियर्स जो 25 को हमारे मेगा शो में आएंगे, उन टीचर्स को और उन तमाम पार्टिसिपेंट्स को सर्टिफिकेट्स दिए जाएंगे फॉर देयर पार्टिसिपेशन इन द मेगा इवेंट. तो तमाम टीचर्स से रिक्वेस्ट है कि वो सैयद आरिफ जाफर अभी कांटेक्ट कर लें और अपने बच्चों के नाम और अपने नाम वो दे दें ताकि हम सिक्योरिटी क्लियरेंस के लिए भिजवा दें और आप लोगों को इनकन्वीनियंस ना हो. थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड एंजॉय योर रिफ्रेशमेंट. अल्लाह हाफिज़.
All right, the English speech competition certificate distribution is over now, and now we're going to move on to जो हमारी उर्दू तकारीर का मुकाबला हुआ आज ऊपर. उस हवाले से यकीनन आपको भी इंतज़ार होगा और हमें भी बहुत इंतज़ार है कि कौन जीता, पहली, दूसरी, तीसरी और चौथी पोजीशन किसकी आई है. लेकिन उससे पहले हम सर्टिफिकेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की तरफ बढ़ेंगे, जो कि हमारा वादा था कि आज के इस मुकाबला तकारीर में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए, शामिल होने के लिए हम यकीनन उन तमाम लोगों को जो यहाँ पर आए, जिन्होंने इतनी मेहनत से तकारीर तैयार की और उसके बाद इतनी मेहनत से उन्हें परफॉर्म किया, उन सब के लिए एक सर्टिफिकेट है. और स्टार्ट करेंगे उमामा बतूल से. ठीक है. ठीक ठीक है, सही. ओके, ठीक है. ना लो नाम. आप नाम लेंगे, आप नाम लेंगे. ओके ओके, ठीक है, ठीक ठीक है, ठीक. सबसे पहले हम अपने जजेस को ऑन स्टेज बुलाएंगे और मोहम्मद नईम ज़ुबैरी प्लीज़ स्टेज पे आइए. मैम फौजिया ताहिरा और प्रोफेसर इरफान जमील.